What's happening, mediocre people of YouTube? You guys recognize this if you saw the short that I made. This is that Gregory Mark V amplifier, which is a little bit unique. Not really that unique, but because there was many of them made, and actually a lot of these were like kit amplifiers, homegrown stuff. This was made by a company, but a lot of these went out as kits where people put them together, which is it's a series filament amplifier, which kind of makes it a little bit unique. You just don't see a lot of them. And it's a cool little amplifier. It'll be interesting to see what it sounds like once it's all serviced and done. I was just getting ready. I've decided where I'm going to mount the transformer, taking into account the placement of everything. So I've been drilling my holes and deciding where my wires are going to go through and whatnot. And I've got the schematic, of course, laying down there. So I was kind of thinking ahead in the circuit because we are adding a power transformer to this, basically for safety precautions, because it doesn't have one, because it goes directly into the wall. And like I said, that's how the series filament amplifiers work. So, just kind of thinking ahead. I already put new caps in it. That took the old can type cap out, which was, I mean, these caps that I put in here are way over spec, but you can see the values, which I kept pretty much the same, except the one's a 4.7 instead of a 40, and one's a 22 instead of a 20, and that other one there is in fact an 80. So going forward, and when you hook up a transformer, you could come in here and just go from hook up your two transformer wires right where to the switch and to the rectifier. You could do that, but the thing of it is when you do that, the transformers, as long as the amp is plugged in, the transformer is going to remain live. The amp is still going to switch on and off, and it's still going to switch the amp on and off, but the transformer itself, as long as it was plugged in, it's still going to be live no matter if the amplifier is on or not. So that's just kind of bad form. So we're going to address that. We're going to wire this so that when it's turned off, all the power is killed to the transformer included. But then a couple of issues arise. Now, of course, we're going to, put a 3-prong cord on it. We're going to connect the earth ground to it, so that'll make it a lot safer, right? Just doing that. Like I said, it could be wired directly to the old power connections, but we're not going to do that because we want our transformer. We want the amp to be, all power to be shut off to it when we shut the power switch off, not just to the circuit, but to the new transformer as well. So the issue arises where you have a 35W4 tube in here, okay, which is only a single diode, so it's a half wave rectifier, right? So rather than a full wave rectifier, so that's kind of an issue. The half wave rectifier only uses one half of the AC waveform, and it blocks the other half. So the issue with adding a power transformer to this is that power transformers are really designed to be symmetrically loaded. So that's kind of an issue. Now, could we just go ahead and hook it up and it would probably be okay? Maybe, but the odds of having some noise and things like that, same thing with wiring it directly, like I was saying before, it could be kind of noisy. And with this rectifier issue, it could certainly pose an issue for noise. So, without a load on half the cycle, it kind of becomes an issue because the transformer becomes more saturated more quickly than normal, and which is, puts standing DC voltage on the transformer. Um, so it could, there could be noise. The transformer could get warmer than it really needs to get. It could get, even hot to an extent, because it's just a, it's just a one-to-one transformer, right? So it's there's that certainly could happen. So what do you do, right? So looking into this and learning more about it, I think the best thing to do here, because it's a 35W4, what did I say, 35W4 rectifier, basically this thing to do is to rectify it twice, basically. And I think what we'll do is we'll put a solid state bridge rectifier to shift the negative voltage over to positive, then rectify again with the 35W4 tube, and that'll eliminate our asymmetry issue, since there will no longer be any negative voltage on the tube rectifier, right, to block it. So as I started thinking about that, that kind of stopped what I was doing, because I thought, well, I'm going to have to add a bridge rectifier here. So what I did is I just went ahead and built one with my little turret boards. So I've got, pieces of this left. In fact, I've got so much of it, I could easily do, I got enough to do another amp board for sure. And I really like this stuff. It's nice that it's thick and just durable, I really like it. So so yeah, that's the plan. And I think it's probably the best way to go, is just to insert this solid state rectifier right before the 35W4 and the tube filaments. Because, here's the other thing, is that, okay, well, why don't you just take out the 35W4 tube and put a full bridge solid state rectifier in? Well, that creates another issue. Because it's a series filament amplifier, it's now you have to, if you're going to remove the 35W4, which I keep saying that, and I hope I'm saying the right tube. I'm pretty sure it's 35W4. Yeah, 30, or no, I'm sorry, I think it's 35W4. Let me check that real quick for you. Yeah, it's 35W4, and then the other one that we're kind of concerned about here is going to be the 50C5 tube. So removing the rectifier and just replacing it with a solid state rectifier would have created a new problem, and that would be how to lower the voltages on the other tube filaments. And not to mention there's some other issues with the 50C3. Really wasn't designed to see plate voltages much higher than 120 volts. So yeah, if we did that, we'd have to figure out how to drop the voltages, which, yeah, could it be done? But yeah, I'm not looking to build a new circuit here. I want to try to keep this as original as possible, because that's just what you do. It's not like it's a sought after amplifier that's, whatever. It's just a little crappy tube amp, but I don't know, I like little crappy tube amps, right? So yeah, I kind of had to stop what I was doing here in order to, because I'm gonna have to place this solid state rectifier somewhere in here. That's why I drilled a hole in the center of it, figuring I would stick a bolt through it, and probably right under here somewhere, because yeah, actually that'll, well, the problem with that is, yeah, then it's going to be right underneath the transformer. So I don't know, we're going to figure out where to mount this little thing, but it'll be mounted in here, and then that will solve our issue. But kind of interesting going into that, and kind of thinking things out a little bit, like, you know what I mean? I think that's the proper way to do it after kind of looking into it and kind of researching it a little bit more. Not a whole lot of information on YouTube. There is some, Brad the Guitologist has showed several of these Gregory amplifiers. He owns several of them, and he's added transformers, and I think he'd agree that this was probably the way to go. Although I don't remember him adding any type of extra rectifiers to his. Although maybe he did, because I mean that guy is way more knowledgeable than I am, and you know he may step over things in his videos, you know, assuming you know or whatever. But that guy is a wealth of information for sure. And a few others out here on YouTube. Then we have our guy that, you know, who's just we have one of our electronics guys that's just a wealth of I don't even know what to call it, but it's entertaining. And so anyway, that's where we're at. I'm going to go ahead now and let's see, I want to turn this the right way. I'll probably pull these tubes out again so I don't keep snagging them and bending them. But I'm going to go ahead and mount my transformer here, bolt everything down. Yeah, these are going to be holes for the wires. And so what I like to do before I even do grommets is I will take a little bit of liquid tape, like electrical tape, liquid electrical tape, and I will dab those holes before I put the grommets in, just to kind of help protect, because it's kind of like a rubberized paint like, and this will just kind of help protect the grommets from the sharp metal. So anyway, that's where we're at, and hopefully the next video I'll probably just have this ready to roll, and got some little Marshall knobs for the front of it, because I only have 2 of these, and the other two are missing, so I figured, well, I'll try a little Marshall knobs. Maybe that'll look kind of cool on there. So yeah, should be kind of cool. It does have tremolo, and that's kind of nice, so kind of cool. So yeah, exciting stuff. If you have one of these and you're looking to make it safe, this is the transformer that I got for mine. So there you go. And like I said, it's just basically a 1-to-1 transformer. It's because it's 120 volts, 120 volts, 120 volts. There's a capacitor for the capacitor graveyard. And until next time, peace out.